नन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाखय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। So we are discussing from Srīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 2, and we're going to continue on verse number 11. Thank you, Prabhuji, for sharing the verse again. Etan ichhitam kuto bhayam yoginam nripa nirnitam harir namanu kirtanam. We'll proceed to the translation. Thank you, Prabhuji. Translation. O King, constant chanting of the holy name of the Lord after the ways of the great authorities is the doubtless and fearless way of success for all, including those who are free from all material desires, those who are desirous of all material enjoyment, and also those who are self-satisfied by dint of transcendental knowledge. So, we are discussing predominantly the glories of the holy name in this verse. And that's what the verse is saying, that the glories of the chanting the holy names is unlimited, and this is the only medicine that can help people having different desires achieve success in life. But then in the purport also, Prabhupada focuses on the other aspect of it, which is the 10 offenses against the holy name. Because if we have offenses against the holy name, we will not be able to unlock or unleash the full potential of the holy name. And why it is important to know about these offenses, or we call them aparadha, because they are against none other than the holy name. And as we know, holy name is non-different from Krishna. Just like pleasing the holy name is non-different from pleasing Krishna himself. Similarly, offense against the holy name is a direct offense to Krishna or Srimati Radharani. As Sakira Prabhu very nicely explained, aparadha or offense against Radha. So, how do we know that this holy name is not different from Krishna? Where is the proof? So in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 17.133, it is mentioned, Nama Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Punya Shuddho Nitya Mukto Abhinnatvam Nama Namino. So it mentions that the holy name of Krishna is transcendently blissful. It bestows all spiritual benedictions, for it is Krishna himself, the reservoir of all pleasure. Krishna name is complete, Purna, and it is the form of all transcendental mellows, Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. It is not material name. It is not a material name under any condition, and it is no less powerful than Krishna. Since Krishna's name is not contaminated by material qualities, there is no question of it being involved with Maya. Krishna's name is always liberated and spiritual. It is never conditioned by laws of material nature. And then it gives the reason why. Because the name of Krishna and Krishna himself are identical. Abhinatvam nama namino. So there is no difference between Krishna and his holy names. So yesterday, Sakira Prabhu very nicely covered till the 5th offense against the holy name. And today we're going to discuss the remaining 5 offenses. So offense number 6 to 10. So the 6th offense is to give some interpretation on the holy name of the Lord. So it's very clear, we should not give any mundane interpretation of the holy name of the Lord. So sometimes we hear acharyas give their interpretations to the holy name of the Lord, but that is in line with Shastra, that is in line with disciplic succession. So for example, Prabhupada used to mention Krish means to attract and Na means to bestow happiness. So Krishna means one who attracts everyone to himself and gives happiness. I'll repeat. So Krishna means one who attracts everyone to himself and gives them happiness. So this is a very, very beautiful interpretation. So acharyas are giving interpretations, but they are doing that in line with Shastra. But we should not give our own interpretation to the holy names. And also, we should not accept any other someone else's personal interpretations of the holy names of the Lord, which is not in line with the Shastra. So once Allen Ginsberg, so he was a poet, he was an American poet and a political activist, and he was a public supporter of Srila Prabhupada and the ISKCON movement. Once he was talking to Srila Prabhupada, and he said that, Prabhupada, I'm telling other people that when you see these devotees chanting and jumping, their body starts to sweat. And when their body starts to sweat, they release oxygen. And because of that, they feel happiness. So Prabhupada, when he heard this, he responded, he said, when did I teach you this? You are interpreting the Mahamantra. Actually, the happiness we feel is not due to some sweating or release of some stress or release of oxygen. The happiness actually comes from inside out, not outside in. So this ecstasy of the soul, it is the ecstasy of the soul that gets manifested to the body, not the some release of oxygen in the body that is making it happy. So don't misinterpret the holy name. In another example, a girl was telling Prabhupada, Swamiji, thank you. When I chant the holy name, I see a red light. So Prabhupada responded, very good, keep chanting and it will disappear. And instead, actually, Krishna will appear to you one day. So what are we learning from these examples? That we should not give our own interpretations, our mundane, our mental concoction about the meaning of the holy name to others, and not also accept this from others. We should only accept interpretations that are clearly coming from scriptures and clearly coming from acharyas. So moving on to the 7th offense. So the 7th offense is to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name of the Lord. So, of course, as it's very clear, we should not commit offenses on the strength of the holy name. For example, once Indra came to know that his enemy, Ritrasura, who is an Asura, but he is also a Mahabhagavat Asura. So this was very rare that he is Asura, but he is also a pure devotee of the Lord. And this Asura, Vritrasura, is offering such wonderful prayers of the Lord that even Indra has never offered. Aham harer tav padai kamula dasanudaso bhavitasmi bhuyaha manaha smarita supater gunamste grinitava karma karot kaya. So he's saying, Dhritarashtra is saying to the Lord, O Supreme Lord, I have no other aspirations other than becoming the servant of your servant of your servant. With my body, I want to serve you. With my mind, I want to remember you. With my words, I want to please you. So like this, he was offering very nice prayers to Krishna. And so Indra, seeing all this, became really afraid of killing him. Because he's a Mahabhagavad devotee. It's like killing a Brahman is very offensive. It's Brahma Hatya. A Vaishnava is even higher than a Brahmana. So imagine the reaction one could get after doing that. But all the demigods and the sages were telling him that, no, Indra, you need to kill him. If he survives, we all will be in danger. To save us, actually, you should kill him. And then they were actually giving comfort to Indra that do not worry. Lord Narayan's name is so powerful that it will protect you. And if you perform a yakya for Lord Narayana and also chant Lord Narayana's name, actually you can kill all the jivas in the universe and still you can be relieved from that sin. That's how powerful the name of Lord Narayana is. So they were trying to motivate Indra to kill Vritrasura, who's a devotee of the Lord. So Indra went ahead and killed Vritrasura. Now, as per the words of demigods and sages, he shouldn't have incurred a sin by killing him. But just after killing him, the personified form of sin uh, came in the form of a old skinny lady, and she was chasing Indra. And Indra was running everywhere from this sin personified. And Indra was flying in the sky, he was hiding in cave, but he couldn't hide anywhere. At last, he had to jump in Mansarovar Lake, and he took shelter on the root of the lotus where Mother Lakshmi resides. So actually, all the demigods and the sages who gave him suggestion to kill Ritrasura, they all ran away. So what do we learn from this example? That we should never think that any sin, we should not never do any sin thinking that anyways I'm chanting 4 rounds, 8 rounds, or 16 rounds or more, it gives me the license to commit any sins and get away with it. If Indra cannot get away, definitely we cannot get away. So if we think like that, that we can do sins on the strength of the holy name, this offense, this offense is actually um, is the worst type amongst all the 10 offenses because it is hypocrisy. The intention of devotional service is to purify ourselves, not to impurify ourselves and commit more sins just because we have some power of chanting of the holy name. We should not do that. If we chant the holy names and commit sin, then also our guru will also suffer. Because when we get initiated, the guru has uh, kind of entered a three-party agreement with us. So there is a three-party agreement between Krishna, Guru, and us. And Guru in this agreement is a guarantor of us, of our commitment to Krishna, of our commitment to the movement. And whenever we break our commitment, the Guru also gets a reaction. So, but we also understand that if we do chant sincerely and not commit sins on the strength of holy name, if we just chant sincerely, the holy name has the ability to actually remove or delete all our previous sins that we have committed, even the sins that we are capable of committing. It's got the power to remove all the sins. But we cannot commit sins on the strength of the holy name. Let's go to the eighth offense. So the eighth offense is to consider chanting of Hare Krishna one of the auspicious ritualistic activities offered in Vedas as fruitive activities or karma kanda. So in India, karma kanda is very famous. And when many people are making yagya fires and they are chanting Vedic mantras. So whenever people see this or have this observation, people around think, oh wow, these Vedic chants are very pleasing to hear, and these are very learned brahmanas. And on the contrary, when they see Hare Krishna devotees either chanting simple melodies on Harinam on the street or dancing or distributing books, they can sometimes think that these people are sentimental fools. But what they do not know that many of these devotees from the West who actually started this movement in India, they have left their houses, they have left their wealth, they have left their families, and then they moved to Vrindavan. And they are wearing dhoti, kurta, and saris and living simple lives. They are sweeping the floors of temples simply because they have full faith in the word of Acharya, who is Srila Prabhupada. So the kind of innocent faith they put in Srila Prabhupada, many of Indian origin Brahmanas practicing Karmakand ceremonies, they fail to understand this faith, that how come, they have so much surrender, how come they have so much faith towards Srila Prabhupada. And many of these so-called learned Brahmanas, they even find difficult to chant even one round of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. But these Western devotees were chanting 16 rounds, and even are chanting at the moment. They were chanting 16 rounds, even more, and leading a pure Vaishnava life, an exemplary life of a Vaishnava. And so we learn to appreciate the faith of the devotees who have faith in Srila Prabhupada. We should learn to appreciate faith of the devotees who have faith in Srila Prabhupada. Of course, we should respect all living entities. That's of paramount importance, because all jivas are part and parcels of Krishna, and Krishna resides in each jiva as Paramatma. But we should not blindly consider the Vedic mantra chanters very superior. So if we actually understand, Sanskrit sounds really, really pleasing, because again, it's a spiritual language. But if some of the mantras that these Vedic chanters or Karmakanda practitioners chant, if we understand the meaning of that after spending some time in Krishna consciousness, we'll be concerned. So the mantras they chant in the ceremonies, they say, let there be children, let there be wealth, let there be abundance, let there be long life. But all these chants or all these prayers are one way or the other meant to keep us in the material world and not get us out of it. Whereas, on the other hand, chanting of the holy names can take us back to Godhead. So we should know the difference between them. That Vedic chanting can give us earthly pleasure, it can give us heavenly pleasure, but chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra can take us beyond earth, heaven, Satya Loka, the whole Brahmanda, the universe, beyond the Brahma Jyoti, which is effulgence of the Lord, beyond Vaikuntha, where Lord Narayan resides, and straight to Golok Vrindavan, where we will see Krishna face to face. So imagine enjoying all these material pleasures versus seeing Krishna face to face. So the choice is very easy. So even if we compare chanting of the holy names against comparing with doing 10,000 Ashwamedha Yagyas, still it is considered offensive. So what we are learning, that we should not consider chanting of holy names one of the auspicious ritualistic activities offered in Vedas as Karmakanda. So this chanting of holy names is not a material activity, it's a transcendental activity. It is not just to gain some material pleasure, it is to gain our transcendental identity, which is being servant of the Lord, which is being part and parcel of the Lord, and actually having a relationship with the Lord where we get chance to constantly serve the Lord and derive unending, uninterrupted pleasure. So that's the eighth offense. Let's go to the ninth offense. So the ninth offense to the holy name is to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. Now we may question to instruct a faithless person, but aren't we always encouraged to distribute Srila Prabhupada books to everyone? So should we not give it to faithless people? And also, when we are doing Harinam Sankirtan on the street, is it wrong that through our chanting we are touching so many faithless people out there? So what is the meaning of this ninth offense? Because it can be a bit confusing. So it is like when we are distributing books or holy name, and if a faithless person comes and ridicules Hare Krishna Mahamantra or the movement, the books, or the devotees, then it means that we should not entertain them, because we understand when someone does it that they are dveshi, they are bhakta dveshi, they are envious, and because they are envious, we should not engage with these devotees. We should just ignore them. We should not associate with such people. Because if one is envious and we start preaching them the glories of the holy name, the glories of Krishna, the glories of Radharani, the glories of Krishna's pastimes. And if somehow or the other, after hearing that, they ridicule that as well, they will commit a great offense. They will commit a great aparadha. And because of that aparadha, they will have to suffer in this material existence for we don't know how many millions of lives, or thousands of lives, or hundreds of lives, depending on the offense they commit. So it is out of compassion for others. It is for compassion for these faithless people that if we are aware that these are faithless people, they are envious of Krishna, they are envious of Krishna's devotees or Krishna's glories, we should not forcefully preach them the message of Krishna consciousness or explain them the meaning of the transcendental meaning of the holy name. So the confidential information should not be spoken to the faithless. So for example, if we have halwa, all devotees like halwa. When Prabhupada was preaching Krishna consciousness in the initial stages, the Western devotees just love halwa. They were crazy for halwa. But if you share halwa with a pig, you will kick the bowl of the halwa because the pig only likes eating stool. So because we know that, we don't give him the halwa. We don't waste the halwa on him. Halwa should be given to human beings. So similarly, holy names, the glories of holy names should not be preached to the faithless. It should be only be preached to the person who has some faith, who has some appreciation, some respect towards the holy name, towards the devotees, towards this process of Krishna consciousness. Even if a person is a Shudra or a Chandal, which is a lower caste, if even they have faith, we should share knowledge with them. But if someone lacks faith, and if they are even the topmost Brahmana or a topmost bureaucrat or a topmost scientist or a topmost whoever, we should not preach them any further meaning of Krishna consciousness or glories of holy name. We should just go away from there. We should not forcefully share knowledge. Similarly, on the same lines, when we are taking initiation, so it is not that one day we come to the temple and second day we come and decide, okay, tomorrow I'm going to take initiation, and we take initiation. It doesn't work like that. First, one needs to take shelter of a spiritual master, a bona fide spiritual master. Then perform devotional service nicely under his guidance of the spiritual master. And then become qualified and then take initiation. Because giving initiation to unqualified people is also the ninth offense, which is preaching the glories of holy name to the faithless person. So basically, we need to first qualify people and then preach the glories of the holy name. Otherwise, we can give them any very, very simple meaning to people where we are not sure, but not very, very detailed transcendental meanings straight away, unless we understand that the person is really serious to understand about this. So that's the ninth offense. So let's discuss now the 10th offense. So 10th offense is to not have complete faith in chanting the holy names and maintain some attachments, some material attachments, even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. And then it is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. So there is a very popular example that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur gives of a wedding party. So once a wedding party in Bengal was in a boat, and the boat was covered inside from all sides with curtains, so that they have privacy. And the boatman was rowing the boat. But when they wake up in the morning, they find that the boat was exactly at the same place where they started. So they were supposed to travel all night long to go from point A to point B, but they just find they're still at point A. They have not moved a single inch. And why? Because they found that they have not removed the anchors. The anchors were still stuck on the shore. So in the same way, if we are taking to Krishna consciousness, this body acts like a boat, which is ready to take us across this ocean of material existence. This ocean means this is a very vast material existence where we have spent millions and millions of lives in so many 8,400,000 species. So it's like it's uncrossable. It's impossible to cross this So, but this body, human body, which is a very rare human body we get after taking birth in all species, this acts like a boat which can help us cross across this material ocean. And the spiritual master in this boat acts like a captain whose instructions we are following. The scriptures are the favorable winds who are helping us, giving us directions on where to go and how to go. And the anchor which is stopping us is our material attachments, our desires to enjoy this material world. And unless these material attachments and material desires, these are like anchors, if they are not removed, we will actually not progress, even if we have the boat, the captain, the favorable winds. But unless the anchor is removed, we will still stay there, we will not progress. So, for example, there are many pious families across India and outside India as well. And they are predominantly into two things: money making and taking care of their family members. So both of these activities are not wrong. One should make money, one should to look after the family members. Yes, that's important. But that is not the goal of life. That is not the essence of life. There is tendency that one tries to work hard or work smart and tries to create a lot of wealth, a lot of houses. But guess what? At the time of death, one will not be able to take even a single house. Forget about a house, one will not be able to take a single dollar with them. So Prahlad Maharaj gives a very example on this line. He said, a family man is compared to a silkworm who's emanating some liquid from the mouth. And this liquid is actually permeating all his body. And after some time, this liquid is becoming hard, so much hard that the worm is himself unable to get out of this liquid, this whole situation. So this worm actually was secreted by him, but this worm is himself stuck in it. So similarly, the materialistic person is attached to dhanam, wealth, janam, birth, sundarim, opposite sex, and they form this strong shell of material attachments and desires around them, and they are unable to come out of this material shell. So if you are not able to come out of this material shell, how will one realize the purpose of human life? The desire to get out of this material existence, the desire to develop love for Krishna. Unless if one is surrounded by this shell, we will never realize our true potential. So one who has taken to Krishna consciousness, especially someone who has taken initiation, should not focus on these material attachments and desires. Instead, one should focus on what are the desires and mission of our spiritual master or our Shiksha Guru, if one is not initiated. For all of us, we should focus on what is the desire and mission of our own Srila Prabhupada, who is our spiritual grandfather, and what is the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, what is the mission of ISKCON and Krishna Conscious Society? So, Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 7:128 very nicely explains, Yare dekhe tare kaha Krishna upadesh amara agyaya guru haya tara desh. We should instruct everyone to follow the orders of Lord Sri Krishna as they are given in Bhagavad Gita and Srīmad Bhāgavatam. I'll repeat, we should instruct everyone to follow the orders of Lord Sri Krishna as they are given in Bhagavad Gita and Srīmad Bhāgavatam. This way we become a spiritual master and try to liberate everyone. So, become a spiritual master can sound a bit overwhelming. A lot of us are not in that position. But we can still instruct everyone on the message of Krishna. We can, in one sense, we all can act like a guru to other people. If we have more knowledge, we should share it with others, no matter the degree of knowledge we have. As long as we know we are sharing something authentic and in line with disciplic succession and in line with Bhagavad Gita as it is, in line with Srimad Bhagavatam, we should share this message with other people. And as small steps, we should ask senior devotees on how can I serve you in serving Krishna? How can I use my home in preaching Krishna consciousness? How can I use my wealth in preaching Krishna consciousness? How I can use my body, my mind, and my words in preaching Krishna consciousness? How can I best utilize my time in preaching Krishna consciousness? And this way, we all fulfill the desire of Srila Prabhupada and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So I'll stop here. I'll also request all the devotees to humbly pray for Sri Ram Vijay Prabhu. Sri Ram Vijay Prabhu is in the hospital. He's in the very last stages of his life. He's a wonderful devotee. He has given so much to the movement for so many years. So the least we could do is pray for him for his future journey, and then that he attains residence at the lotus feet of Krishna, lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. So I humbly beg everyone to pray for Sri Ram Vijay Prabhu. Hare Krishna, I'll stop here. Let me know if you have any questions, any comments, or any corrections. Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, can I share something?
Sure, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
When we speak about the giving some mundane interpretation to the holy name, the sixth offense, okay, yes, it's easy to not to give any mundane interpretation because we are now in Krishna consciousness. But the difficult thing is to actually accept what is mentioned in Shastra about the glories of the holy name. Like so many, if you see Sri Namamrita, so much is written about the holy name that it can do this and it can do this, it can bestow Krishna Prem immediately, like that. So that belief we have to have, very strong belief that the holy name is actually going to, bestow whatever benedictions is mentioned in Shastra. And because it is way beyond our, current imagination, it's hard to believe sometimes. So even that interpretation, we have to just accept the wordings of Shastra and probably meditate upon them as to, okay, Shastra says that it can eradicate sins which I cannot even commit, the mountain of sins which I cannot even commit. So how does that happen? So that meditation may lead us, to further progress. Of course, we should, again, in that meditation we should not be using our own interpretation. So it's better to again align with Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. But the important thing is that we should accept the magnanimity and the instructions, the benedictions given in the Shastra about the holy name. And also, one more thing is that the 11th offense, which is the mother of all offenses, the inattentive chanting. So we all have to be very careful, and that's why we have to chant very, very attentively. And once we chant attentively, then of course the devotion, the emotion will also come slowly. And again, these things should be discussed with devotees so that our chanting improves. This morning I got a nice message from Monica Mataji saying that after my yesterday's class, she was able to chant very nicely, and it's her birthday today actually. So if everyone can also pray for her and bless her, that'll be very nice. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare
It's also
Krishna.
Jamadagni Prabhu's birthday, Prabhu. Right?
Sorry, whose birthday?
Jamadagni Prabhu.
Oh, wonderful. Jamadagni Prabhu, happy birthday. May you never take birth again. Hare Krishna. We'll speak again.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji, for very nicely explaining that we need to focus on the glories of holy name, and that's in line with the fifth offense, that we should not consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination. Actually, the glories are real. We may not be able to understand it, but we should trust the Shastra and just accept, read those glories and have firm faith in that yes, the holy names have this potency, and we should chant with full faith that they will give us results if we just follow the process. And then also very nicely mentioned about that the 11th offense, I didn't have the time to cover that. Thank you, Prabhu, for raising that inattentive chanting. Actually, if we all realize this is the most offense in terms of in terms of the time that this is the most offense most of us do at the moment, because so many distractions in today's world, especially our phones. So we should guard against this offense by not having any distractions around us. And I'm saying this to myself as well. And I was just thinking, for an example, like if someone's in a service of serving prasadam, and they are serving this with their hands, but they are not looking with their eyes where they are serving, and they are serving the prasadam on someone's kurta or someone's hand or someone's feet, which is and then in their mind they can think that they are doing an amazing prasadam service. But to the other person, they are causing an offense because they are causing an offense to the prasadam itself, which is not different from Krishna because they are not looking at where they're putting. So similarly, if we are chanting, we might think we are chanting, but if we are not hearing, it's like not focusing on what we are doing. So hence this that is basically inattentive serving. So that applies to all kinds of servings. And for chanting, hearing is attention. And without hearing, doing the chanting is inattentive chanting. Because as soon as we are distracted by something else, the clear sign is we are not hearing the holy names. And if we are not hearing the holy names, this is inattentive chanting. So we need to focus that, are we hearing the holy names while we are chanting or not? And that will give us a degree of where we need to improve. And I need to improve on this myself as well. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for sharing these wonderful points. Any other points from anyone else?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for such a wonderful class, and thank you for all devotees who have given the class on the Nama Aparadh for the last few days. So many nice and practical points have been mentioned. Meditating on this Nama Aparadh may be quite overwhelming, especially for a newcomer. But as Sahirai Prabhu and you also elaborated, that the most important thing to concentrate on is that our chanting be attentive. If somehow the other aparadhas, the 10 aparadhas, we are not able to avoid, but if there's one thing we follow is attentive chanting. What is attentive chanting? Attentive chanting is hearing our own chanting, so that our concentration and meditation is on the sound vibration, because the sound vibration itself is Krishna, and Krishna is purifying, and Krishna is absolute sweet. And if we are attentive to hearing his own name, that sweetness we will feel. And in this connection, Sachinandan Maharaj gives an analogy that if we are doing an inattentive chanting, in effect, what we are doing is like we have invited someone to our house for prasadam, and they have come and they are knocking the door, but we are sleeping. And eventually, even if we wake up, we open the door, we don't look at them, we don't say hello, we don't invite them, we just again go back to bed. And so what will guests do? They will just walk away. So similarly, when we are calling out Krishna, then we are effectively inviting Krishna to come into the core of our heart. And Krishna is coming, but then we are not receiving him. So that is inattentive chanting. So if just this one offense, if we are careful about, all the other offenses will itself take care of itself. And so we have to be very, very careful in this regard. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for sharing your wonderful realizations. Thank you so much. Any other last comments from anyone? If not, Granth-Raj, Srimadbhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Prabhu, many happy
Thank
returns.
you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you,
Thank you,
Mataji.
Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Happy appearance, Day, Prabhu. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna, Prabhuji. Happy birthday.
Thank you,
Happy
Prabhuji.
birthday,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Happy birthday, bro.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.